this past week we've
Yeah,
seen what people were reporting as car-sized drones like in mass being flown over New Jersey. And there have been like government officials who came out originally and said, we don't know what these are. But we're not. This is what disturbed people. They were like, we don't know what these are, but we can't do anything about this, and we're like not going to do anything about this. And there were people actually who don't even get into politics who I heard comment on this, like Eddie Trunk, who I listen to Eddie Trunk all the time because I love his show. And Eddie even said on his show, I never get into politics. Like this is a rock show. We don't talk politics. But he's like, as a New Jersey guy, I don't get this. Like shoot that shit out of the sky. That's what he said. However, I could say I understand the other feeling because if these really were car-sized drones, New Jersey is not like cornfields in, middle
yeah.
America. You shoot a car-sized drone out of the sky, it's going to land on someone's house. It's going to land on some cars. So you're kind of left without any options, I would think, of how to handle this. However, so then what's happened in the coming days, this you laughed at when I mentioned it, and I laughed at when I saw it, but a lot of people in conservative media are throwing it around on Twitter or X that there was this, and I don't have once again notes in front of me. There was a Republican congressman who said on Fox, I have good intel from anonymous sources that these are Iranian drones that are being stationed somewhere off the coast in New Jersey. And just when I hear stuff like that, my bullshit detector goes up because I've worked in media so long. And to what I said to you is it's the same thing as liberals buying into when some,
Yeah, yeah.
Democrat congressman goes on MSNBC and says, I have it on good intel that like Russia hacked the election, that Russia's working with Trump. It's the same thing. So to our audience, who is more on the right side
Yeah.
typically, like don't buy into something just because some congressman went on TV and said anonymous sources said something. It's probably bullshit. I've seen so many times where they do this. And the truth is, this, like
Yeah.
these people are desperate to be on TV. And the more outlandish your theories are, the more airtime you're going to get. And I don't believe that for a second. It just doesn't make sense. So the third thing I'll say is that I don't know if you said it's Admiral Kirby or General Kirby. I
I
forget.
can't remember which one.
On me.
I know Kirby, I should know, but I
Well,
can't
he's a
remember
guy
his
I
name. I mean,
generally would not agree with. However, he came out today, the day that we're recording this, which is a Thursday, and he said that this is basically nothing. That they've looked at the airspace and these are not car-sized drones, they're regular drones. I probably happen to believe that, I think probably some people saw some things that were suspicious, and then I think just like a game of telephone, it gets
yeah.
blown out of proportion. And then also especially nowadays with AI, with all the things we can do with phones, it would be very easy to put up fake footage on the internet.
Yeah.
So you really can't believe anything you see anymore. So even if I see stuff on X that looks out of this world, it's hard to believe unless I see it with my own two eyes in real time because we've seen faked UFO footage all the time. I remember the big one, like late 2000s maybe. I'd have to see the date, but you probably remember where there was a UFO landing on the Dome of the Rock, the big mosque in Israel, and then
Oh
it
yeah, yeah.
flashed and flew up in the
Yeah.
sky. They had it from multiple angles, and then that came out as a hoax, which I think it was a hoax. I don't know if it was proven, but like we've seen faked UFO footage time and time again, and I almost think that this is the type of thing that gets put into the public perception, and people start to see things that aren't there. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there. I mean, I don't rule out the possibility of some UFOs, but what I do rule out, and I'll eat my words if he's right. I don't think it's some Iranian thing. I really don't. I just don't buy into that.
Man, that'd be hard to do. If the Iranians can get next to the coast of Jersey and put up drones, our military really has gone to shit. I mean, it's gone down a little bit, but holy crap. Seriously, we might as well give up now because we ain't gonna beat nobody. I think that's the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard. That's why when you said it, I just started busting up laughing.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I'm wrong, I'll admit I'm wrong. Iranians, man, and then I would say, yeah, our military really needs to get their shit together. So does our intelligence services. So does our NSA. I don't have any friends, in those agencies or not, but if they're not that bad. I mean, believe me, I got nothing
Yeah.
great to say about either of them, but no way in hell have they gone to shit that bad. So, bro, I'm with you. And the pictures, I don't know. I mean, I've seen pictures just on the internet like myself, like yourself. And I was telling you earlier, if it was just if it's a bunch of high school kids either
Yeah.
building shit on their phone or they're actually putting up drones and they're seeing the reaction, I know how I would be as a high school kid. I would do it more because I'm like, holy shit, this is awesome. I'm just getting people spun up, laughing about it, and you would because you don't really think about national security. You don't think about you're freaking out the Secretary of Defense and the Department of Defense, and you're thinking about, holy shit, I'm getting a reaction. This is a great feeling. This is something we can laugh about. While we're play in between playing games. What are they playing now? Fortnite or something?
I don't know. I'm an old man. I'm 38.
My son still play. He plays. He's 19. So and he still plays every once in a while. But anyway, I just know if I was a kid and I was a truant kid, I wasn't a criminal. I had great upbringing, but did I bend the law? Yeah, I did. I pushed it always because that was just my nature. But every time I do something that got a reaction, it would make me want to do it more because I thought it was hilarious. It gives you that euphoric feeling. So, buddy, I'm with you. It's to me, I think a lot of it's footage now. There's things you can do with just footage on social media is unbelievable. It's almost
Well,
to the
just
point of
with
scare
AI, with
with AI.
LLMs.
Yeah. With AI, it's almost scary. But on the other is too, I think it was just initially a joke to begin with? Yeah, I do. I think it's just something hilarious, and it's just taking a life of its own because we allowed it to take a life of its own. Just like when we thought buying all the toilet paper would stop a virus from
Yeah.
getting people infected. It takes a life of its own, and it's just done it again. And the media is complicit to it. Right media is just as complicit left on putting out stories that are outlandish. Here we go. We're just seeing it.
Yeah,
So
I
just
get it though, because I mean, look, if I owned a media network and some congressman wanted to come on and
yeah,
make that, it's going to get headlines. And they're like, I know how the media works. They're not in the business to inform, they're in the business to get ratings and to get people to watch.
yeah.
But I could tell you, I take it all with a grain of salt. Just because he's a congressman doesn't really mean anything.
No,
And
no,
if he says
believe me.
anonymous sources, it doesn't mean anything.
No,
Who are these anonymous sources? He's because I know some really high level people. All right, well, who are they? So I just don't buy it. And it's not, I'm not someone who's anti conspiracy theory. Maybe there are UFOs, but I would have to see more evidence at this point. Right now, it just sounds like hearsay. And like I said, with LLMs, with AI, there's so much crazy shit you could do. I mean, you could easily put up a video of you robbing a bank right now, right? That would look 100% accurate, that everyone would say this looks like Chris robbing a bank, you know?
don't do it. Don't
So,
do it though, guys. I'm not
but I'm
anywhere
just
near a
saying, if
bank. I
you
don't
could
run
do
banks.
that, you could easily fake a car-sized drones.
But the UFOs are more believable than the Iranians are off the coast of New
Yeah, I
Jersey.
agree. I agree.
That's where I'm getting at, man. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna buy UFOs more than I'm gonna buy Iranians are sitting off the coast of New Jersey flying up drones. So,
And here's the
man,
thing, I was saying this to Adam yesterday, who I work with. When people hear UFOs, because we were started talking about aliens, and it's like when people hear UFOs, they automatically think aliens, extraterrestrial life. But UFO just means unidentified flying object, and it could even be our own government experimenting with something that we don't know about. But it could
could
still
be.
be to the public an unidentified flying object, and it could be some Area 51 type stuff that they're just trying to see how it operates over New Jersey. I don't rule that out. That sounds more feasible to me than Iran.
No, I think again, it's just a bunch of kids having a good time, fucking flying up drones, starting shit, causing trouble, trying to get a reaction,
But
trying to
why do
get
you think people are saying
a
their car size? Do you think that's just their
that is
perception, or do you think it's just they're seeing it wrong? Because it's sometimes hard to see how big
no,
something is.
when something's up in the sky, it's just like looking at something underwater. It does the size differential. What you're seeing is not always the size that you think it is, and I've gone both ways where I've you can see drones up in the air and they look very small, like actual drones, ISRs, intelligent surveillance
Which
and
how
reconnaissance.
big are those in actuality?
Those are big. Those are like big, like cars, and you'll see us, but it doesn't look that big. But then,
Could it
you'll
be
get
that? Could it be that?
it could be, but the picture I've only seen one. Again, living under a rock, guys. But the picture I saw it looked like a standard, the drone that you would buy at the local Best Buy, with the propellers, the four propellers. But the other things up there that people are saying, it could be just a regular drone doing surveillance to check it out to make sure that it is Because that's what, if I was a SecDef or I was in charge of it, that's what I would be flying up to investigate. That's what they're for. ISR, or intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance. That's what those ISR stands for. That's what a drone is. I would be flying it up there because you're not only seeing what's there, it also can be armed with Hellfire missiles, which is what I was calling for all night in Benghazi. They kept telling me it wasn't armed. Yeah, eat shit, it was. Um, but also what it does like the movie, if you've seen 13 Hours, that's exactly what it does. It takes pictures and it can locate everything going on the ground. So you'll see it movement and it'll focus. Just like the movie, guys, 13 Hours did an excellent job showing what that looks like. The colors pop a little bit more because a lot of it, especially if it's night with night vision or it's white phosphorus, but it will triangulate. It'll see a movement and it'll focus, and you'll see it'll like do a color or a do a symbol around it, and so that's why it would be up there. So yeah, I do think that is a possibility that the Department of Defense does have some drones up there checking shit out to make sure that it's not a threat, which is a smart thing that's what you do. You should be doing that. But to say that it's Iranian, no, man, no. Because if it was Iranian, one of those drones with the Hellfire, especially if it was off the coast, would have taken one of those ships out, would have taken one of those ships out already. Or there would have been an operation from the SEAL teams or from the Raiders to go out there, the recon guys.
Thanks for checking out Battle Line Podcast. This is just a smaller clip from our latest episode, which you can check out in its entirety by clicking here. While you're watching, be sure to hit the subscribe button and thumbs up the video to show your support. Now, if you'd really like to help us out, click the thanks button below to make a donation. It goes directly to us in keeping Battle Line Podcast going for you.